Welcome to a Moon Moment with Mama Mandala. I'm Hagar. I'm so glad you're here. It's a lunar eclipse today, a full moon in Scorpio. It's also the middle of Taurus season, which is why the moon is full in Scorpio, because they're on the opposite side of the spoke on the wheel of astrology. They complete each other. One is in the direction of death and decay, which is Scorpio, and the other is in the direction of life and growth and blossoming, which is Taurus, which is the season we are in right now in the northern hemisphere. So today is a full moon in Scorpio, the midst of Taurus season. It's also lunar Beltane, which is a pagan holiday that celebrates the midpoint between the spring equinox and the summer solstice. And it's the actual solar gate of Beltane because it's the actual midpoint between the two seasons. So here we are. Welcome. It's party time. The invitation that we have to play with these archetypes, for me, doesn't come from a faith-based place at all. I'm not a faith-based person, and I love mythology from different parts of the world, from different traditions. I think that through mythology and through the exploration of mythopoetic practices and of different archetypes and different symbols, we can learn a lot about ourselves, about society, and make new connections in our relationship on an individual level and also on a collective level. So I love playing with all of that. So I'm so glad that you're here with me. Here's the beautiful invitation that we have if we wish to circle or spiral into this day with these quality. It's the invitation. I sometimes I think of Scorpio, I'm a Scorpio, as a release party. It's because it's the direction. It's a sign that happens in the fall, and it moves in the direction of breaking down, of decay, of everything dropping and completely releasing and nourishing the ground through decay. I sometimes think of it as an opportunity or an archetype that invites us into release, into the practices of death as empowerment, because we all have things in our lives and things about ourselves that we want to start to dismantle and recreate our relationship with. And a lot of times in the Taurus direction of growth and creativity, the work is to figure out what needs to be detangled or untangled or broken down so that we can move forward. The process of dissolution is always woven into the process of creativity. So we have in this moment, and I love the way that full moons are always on the opposite side of where the sun is, because it gives us an invitation into our own complexity, into polarity as empowerment, into the way that there is ambiguity in everything, into the way that even when you look at the yin and yang symbol, one is nestled into each other and one includes the other. It's never just, life is never just one thing. We're never just one thing. That's why I'm not a big fan at all of the idea of like, find your true self. What is your true self? Your true self is fluid. There's a liquidity to our being that invites us into a process of continuously becoming different aspects of ourselves, showing up with different aspects of ourselves to different situations. That's why archetype work is so powerful, because we can really work with different qualities and different roles that we play in our lives and different things that show up at different moments. And sometimes it's patterns that we want to work with. This is a Scorpio practice, right? The patterns that show up that we go, oh, I just can't believe I went for that again. I can't believe I said that. That really came from that dark place inside of me that's a little bit not the parts of us that are not in control of ourselves, like we're empowered and we're always invited to, I don't like the word control, right, but to participate and to choose how we're being with a situation. But there's so many moments where our wounds and our shadows are that's my dog over there doing her thing, but it's where our wounds and our shadows are are acting up, or where we're not even seeing that this is where we're functioning from, right? So the play of Scorpio is the invitation to notice it, to see it, because with Scorpio, we bring awareness to our shadow, to our hidden parts, to the aspects of ourselves and of our lives that we normally either don't want to look at or don't look at all, right? We're not even aware that there's stuff there to see and to work with. So Scorpio invites us into it. In particular, we have this this invitation today. Now, why not work with it, whether you believe in it or not, that the shadow of the earth is going to pass over the moon today, right? And so we're in this play of revelation and concealment, of our shadow showing itself over the reflective light of the moon, right? We're in this moment where we're seeing our own shadow. And it can be very empowering. It can be very challenging, because when we start seeing our shadows, it's not necessarily always the happiest day in the world, the happiest moment, but it is deeply empowering, because then if we start seeing the patterns that we function from, that we're not necessarily, that we're not even aware that we're coming from, then we can start to work with it. We can start to play with reweaving or creating new neural pathways, right? When you catch yourself falling into a thought pattern that is deeply painful. See, I don't shy away from pain. Sometimes there's something to learn there, but if we start going down this self-beating, let's say, I have a lot of that going on, like self-hatred, right? So if we start seeing how we're falling into those patterns and we notice it and it's really painful, the pain is a sign, right, that something is off and it needs attention and it needs to be redirected, possibly. So we can go, oh wow, I have this thought, it's coming up, I'm breathing, right? We take a moment and we notice where we feel it in our bodies. We don't have to force it to change, to go away. I love the invitation of Scorpio to work with shadow, because it's very powerful and very intense, but it's not forceful. It's all about a decay process, and there's nothing forceful about decay. It just happens. It takes us down and into the caves of our being, down into the soil, and it's deeply nourishing. So as we go down into it, as we start noticing, oh wow, this is happening, I'm thinking this way, I'm feeling this way, my body is reacting, I can breathe into it, and I can choose another way of thinking, right? We don't have to necessarily show up with a thought that is the complete opposite. And when we're feeling sad, we're not going to tell ourselves, we're not going to lie to ourselves, we're not going to bypass this. No, we're definitely the invitation of shadow work is not bypassing, right? To really go deep and down and into the soil of our being, so that it can work with the entirety of who we are. Claim and reclaim the darker spots, the darker aspects, so that we can tend to ourselves more fully, more wholly, in a holy and sacred way, right? So we show up and we go, okay, this thought, this feeling is happening. Now I can, what's a thought? What's a thought that I can bring into it? What's something that I can tell myself in those moments that is going to help me shift from that pattern of self-destruction, let's say, right? And then we bring that in and we start to converse with ourselves and we ask ourselves, what are the voices that are helpful for me? What are you can ask yourself, what do I need to hear from myself? What's the message that I need to hear? And then we go this way. This is why it's so powerful to journal, because we can do that through writing, but we can do that also just sitting and breathing as we're driving. As I live in LA, so I drive a lot. Hello. So, right? Like we can do that anytime, anywhere, when we can take a moment to notice what's going on with us. And then this is what's so beautiful, because it's Beltane, which is a holiday of pleasure, and it's happening in Taurus season, because Taurus is all all about, it's an archetype that invites us into the pleasures of the body. And it's so beautiful because it's on the opposite side of Scorpio, which also invites us into sensuality and sexuality. So they play together a lot. But I think of Scorpio as kind of like the way that the French call an orgasm. They say le petit mort, which means the little death. So how powerful it is to remember that every time the possibility of life opens up, death comes with it. We're always in this space where there's an inclusion of a whole picture if we choose to weave all the parts together. And I think that an eclipse, because it's such a shadow time, it's an opportunity to really tend and tune into the parts of us that are usually not seen, right? So it's Scorpio moon and it's an eclipse. So it's like double whammy, shadow and dark time. Now Scorpio really wants to take us under the ground. It wants to move us, under the covers into bed. It wants to move in the direction of hiding and turning inward. And as it combines itself, as it weaves itself today with Beltane, with Taurus, it invites us into the way that death and release and the relief that comes with certain aspects of ourselves decaying as pleasure, as enhancement of life itself. Because the earth needs the decay of Scorpio time, of the fall and the winter and the rest of the winter, in order to emerge in spring more full of life, more full of colors and textures and scents that intoxicate our system. So I hope this is interesting for you. I love this. Some people feel like eclipses are very chaotic times. That's what astrologers often talk about. And feel for yourself. What are you feeling? Does it feel chaotic for you? Does it feel really all over the place? Are you feeling like relationships are being a little shaky right now? Or is it just like this inner conversation of deep intensity? What is going on for you? And maybe you're actually having a blast today. So wherever it is that we are, we're invited to explore and to participate with these questions of death and decay and life and pleasure, and the way that they can weave together in the play and in the big cosmic show of light and shadow, of hiding and then coming into sight again. So just a quick moment, if you want to have a moment of grounding with me, if this is an intense time for you. This mudra is one of my favorites. It's Prithvi mudra. It's Prithvi in Sanskrit means, one of the meanings of the earth, and it's the mudra of the earth. It's the mudra of grounding, and you bring the thumb to the ring finger tip like that, just very simple. And really, for me, it's so sweet. I just immediately feel grounding, right? The way that Scorpio takes us down and into the soil, and the way that Taurus gives us the pleasure and of embodiment, of being of the earth. And then we can chant the mantra, the bija mantra, the seed mantra of the earth, which is from the yoga tradition from India. And the mantra is Hrim, H-R-I-M or H-R-E-E-M, Hrim. And we can chant that together to call in our own groundedness, to drop the seeds that we wish to feed the earth with, and that we wish the earth to help us nourish, so that what we want to grow in our lives can emerge, supported by that which we are constantly and continuously allowing ourselves to dissolve, to release, to break down. So you can have your eyes open or closed, and we can do that with a little movement. You can inhale and reach your arms up with Prithvi mudra, and exhale, circle the arms back down. Inhale, reach your arms up, and you can circle your arms down, or you can circle your arms down and fold forward to touch the earth as you exhale. You can bend your knees on your way down if you need to. And then the fingertips of the index and middle fingers touch the ground. And inhale, reach your hips back and your chest forward if you're down to come up, or just reach your arms up. And one more time, either just circle your arms down or circle your arms all the way down as you fold forward and touch the earth with the tips of the fingers that are available. And now we'll add the sound, the bija mantra, Hrim. Inhale, reach your arms up. Hrim. Planting the seeds that will be nourished by the dissolution. Inhale, reach up. That comes through seeing the shadow. And arms up again. Deep into an invitation to grow, not only up, but also down. Inhale, reach the arms up. And with an exhalation, release Prithvi Mudra and lower the hands through the front of your face to the front of your heart. And Anjali Mudra, the gesture of the heart's deepest offering. And make this offering for yourself and for something greater than yourself. Into all the ways that which you break down, that which you nourish the ground of your being with, can offer the fertilizing power that supports your own growth and the growth of something greater than you, others around you in your life, maybe causes that you deeply care about. And thank you so much for joining me on this moon moment. I hope you have a beautiful lunar eclipse and full moon in Scorpio, lunar Beltane and solar Beltane, all of it. Go ahead and subscribe to this channel if you like this, and share it with your people. And I'm going to leave a link in the description of the video if you'd like to participate in a Beltane Somatic Ceremony. I have that going on right now. It's a beautiful exploration of body and myth, of meditation and poetic possibilities, of symbolism and breath work. So it's all woven together there, and there's a lot going on. You can check it out. There's a conversation, a mythopoetic conversation, and then 5 different practices to take the season into your body, and 1 bonus meditation practice. So it's all there for you. I'm going to leave a link, and I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you. Mwah!